Also, I just realized there's mustard on my shirt. So there is mustard on my shirt. Just went to Costco and ate some a hot dog with the kids. Please don't compare me to Stevie from Mile High. I have 2 toddlers, so please cut me some slack. Please cut me some slack. All right. That's all, I guess. So today I'm going to be talking about something really exciting and great and wonderful. Nora Roberts. Oops. I think I'm a huge stan now. So I was my understanding that Nora Roberts was like mostly romance, but maybe not really. She writes a lot of... Look how cool she looks. Nora. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. This is a really weird first book to read from her. Well, here's the deal. Okay, so I go to a lot... Let's just get this story started. I go to a lot of used bookstores. Not a lot. I go to used bookstores frequently. And at used bookstores, it doesn't matter what kind of store it is. It doesn't matter what kind of curated amount of books they have. It doesn't matter if it's a little tiny store and they only accept certain things. It doesn't matter if it's a huge store. Every place that sells books has Nora Roberts. Some of her books. Like, they will be there. So when you're going to one of these stores, you're looking about, you're seeing the Danielle Steele, another author that I have not breached yet. You know, there's about 10,000 Danielle Steele books, but it's pretty obvious what she's doing, okay? She's got the, you know, the font of her name. That's like enough for you to be like, okay. Romance. Maybe historical. Maybe some bodice rippers, okay? Usually you can also tell from the cover. But Nora Roberts is a little bit more on the line. She's got that sci-fi gigantor author's name on her books. And she's one of those authors that, like, if you look up one of her books that you want to read, you can get it at your library today. She's written a lot of books, so they're always there. And it's very hard as a reader who doesn't know a lot of things to decode whether her books are always there because she just writes. When you go to a used bookstore, you never really know if, like, the stuff they have there is quality. I mean, a lot of it is, but you never know if, like, everything you find there is going to be quality, because at the end of the day, they're books that people have gotten rid of, okay? So going to a used bookstore, even to a library, you just don't really know, okay? She's got a lot of books there, so you're thinking, does she have a lot of books here because she just writes a lot? Or does she have a lot of books here because she... like, people don't really like her books? You never know. So I've never read any Nora Roberts ever. I don't even know anyone who's read... like, I've never talked to someone who's talked about reading Nora Roberts. I'm sure I know people who've read her, but it's just kind of hard to crack into it because you never know what book to start with. I feel like you have to do a little bit of research first. You don't want to read, like, one of their worst books because then, well, first of all, it's always a waste of time. Secondly, it might ruin you for the rest of their good books, and I'm sure that they have good books, you know? So, I looked up a video of, like, where to start with Nora Roberts. I got a lot of recommendations from a couple of videos. One of them being Shelter in Place, which I just got from the library today. I haven't started it yet. I'm really... wow, that's gorge. I'm really excited to read this. I don't know a single thing about it. This is $27 new. I just... and then I read, this is the only, okay, so let's just get it started. This is the only book I've read by Nora Roberts so far. This is by her writing as, so her pseudonym, I suppose you could say, J.D. Robb. I'm not 100% clear on the reasoning behind giving her a pseudonym, except that this is like a different genre than what she normally writes, and it's a potentially a man's name. This is a procedural, Naked in Death. It's the first book in the In Death series. They all are like blank in death. So like every single word you can think of, because there's 54, I just found out. So that is great for me, because I will never run out of things to read. So I guess you can guess that I loved this book. I thought it had, okay, so first of all, I've actually never read a procedural before in my life, but I've watched a lot of procedural dramas, of course. My most absolute favorite being Bones. I've watched it a lot of times. I actually haven't watched a lot of other ones. This reminded me of Bones a lot, for no reason. It was a little bit larger than life. It was potentially not real in a lot of ways. Let's just get down to it. The In Death series follows Eve Dallas, who's a New York police lieutenant. And it's just about, each one, I've only read one, but each one is about, a different murder or thing like that. It's set a little bit in the future. I think it's set in 2050. This book was written, this was written in 1995, so it was set 55 years in the future, which is pretty good. Now we're getting closer to that, getting a lot closer, and we're still not, there's still not colonies on other planets. Anyway, the way that it's written in the future is really nice. There's not a lot of world building. It's very, it's set in America. America's, she talks about a lot of American cities, but there's, some futuristic things, like space travel and other stuff. And it's about a murder. I don't want to give it away because it was really good. But it's about in a time where prostitutes get licenses, and they're illegal. It's a legal thing to do. They have to go get trained for it, and they have licenses. They are being killed. In very mysterious ways. It seems like a serial killer. I think 3 of them die. Three different ladies die. Similar circumstances. And there's kind of red herring here and there. And I don't know. It was just really great. Her relationship kind of with the guy, Rourke, was great. Loved the Irish accent. Oh, by the way, I bought this book after I finished the audiobook. So I liked it. So then I was like, oh, I saw it in the store. I was like, oh, I'm going to get this. So I didn't actually read it. I listened to it, and I did love me some Irish. This is not a romance at all. They do have kind of a budding romance, but I can't help but feel like they're not going to be together forever. He might be a one-book only guy. So I wouldn't really call it romance in any way. Okay. The procedural part of it was so cool. I thought she did such a good job of just making it seem real, or one of the shows, or it just seemed very science fiction-y. In fact, when I was as I said, I was not sure that she wrote mostly romance. And I read this and I was like, she's definitely not a romance author. I don't know, because I was no, she's a romance author. This is something totally different that she's doing, which I think is so, so cool. But you know what? Here's what's even cooler. Nora Roberts is the coolest person on earth, maybe. Okay, so I just was looking her up, seeing how many books she wrote, do a little background research for this. Stumbled upon this article by Carol Cadwalladr. Oh, God. Carol Cadwalladr. Okay, by this author in The Guardian about Nora Roberts. And I picked up some very interesting pieces of information, and I will link this below. This is actually written a long time ago, in 2011. Ouch. But it still stands, okay, because nothing has changed. So pretty much Nora Roberts has the coolest life ever. She's lived in the same house since she was a teenager. Never moved. She lives in the middle of nowhere, and she makes $60 million a year. And you know what she said? She said that she will write a book in 45 days. Start to finish, 45 days. I was so shook by that. I was absolutely floored. When asked if she tweets, she said, "I'd rather stab myself in the eye with a flaming stick." Stan. I think this quote is so amazing from her. Why would you apologize for what you read for pleasure? Just think of the illiteracy rate. Every book read for pleasure should be celebrated. And novels that celebrate love, commitment, relationships, making relationships work, why isn't that something that should be respected? Ugh. I want to get that framed and put on my wall. I'm not joking with you. She's pretty much full of banger. Not to mention, the protagonists that she writes are so great. Eve Dallas in this book was so badass, and not in like a you know, every character that Michelle Rodriguez plays, but like she was just a regular lady that was very good at her job and was really cool, and I liked her a lot. She talks about what it was like when she started writing, which was in the 80s. She said, he's often a Greek tycoon. She was often orphaned and raised by an aunt. She's on her way to a new job, working for the richest man in the free world. In the airport, she's rushing through with a battered suitcase. She runs into this man, and the suitcase falls open, revealing a pitiful wardrobe. It's all neat and well-mended, but sad. And he calls her a clumsy fool and helps her stuff her clothes back in the suitcase and storms off. And the next day, she goes into the office of the richest man in the free world, and who should be there but the man she ran into in the airport? It's like exactly what. There's so many books that like just go into that. So she's saying that when she started writing, she was writing with really formulaic plots, but she's kind of changed it since then. Of course, there is a quote in here from Meg Cabot, who's the author of the Princess Diary novels. And she said about Roberts, her heroes and heroines are so strong yet so flawed. They have these personal handicaps, and that's something that made Nora's books so different to many written in the past, because the characters are so relatable. Her heroines all had jobs. She doesn't write historicals. They're searching for themselves, not someone else. These aren't women obsessed with getting married. They're totally kick-ass. Exactly. Just like Nora herself, I imagine. I just think it's so great. I think it is so great to be writing books like this. I think people need to be reading Nora Roberts. Listen, I've only read one of her books and I'm already saying that. I'm obsessed. I loved this book. I think everyone should read this book. From what I hear, it's pretty episodic, if you will. It's procedural, so it's pretty episodic, but I really want to get the fullest effect, and I really want to, learn about the, hero's journey. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to read them out of order. I'm working really hard to, get them and read them in order. I have many of her books on my Kindle right now. And then I just got this one from the library. I'm really excited to read. Just one of the coolest people. I'm so glad that I found this article and learn more about her. So just a short little video to tell you, I think you should read Nora Roberts. I'm really excited to read the rest of her books. Whoa, hey, yikes. I'm really excited to read more of her works, and I will be making videos about them. Let's go on this journey. We will be reading Nora Roberts, 2023, Nora Roberts. Nora Roberts for President 2024. That's all I have to say about it. I hope you like this video. I hope you give Nora Roberts a try. I will be keeping you updated. Stay tuned for more Nora Roberts from Nora Roberts' biggest one book reader fan. Bye.